What is your immediate plan for regional levee protection, and would you support the Auburn Dam project even though it is on an earthquake fault?
First of all, I don't accept the second proposition that it's on an earthquake fault that would make it incapable of being produced. Number one, what we need to do is what I've done since I've been back in Congress, which is to give greater attention to our efforts to try and deal with the issue of flood control. There was very little interest in that, very little attention given to that, till a number of us started working on that. Our levee improvement plan is a plan that needs funding on the federal level, the state level, the regional level, and we have accomplished that. Our governor, for the first time in many years, is a governor who's actually put money aside for that. I have worked with other congressmen in this area, and Democrats and Republicans, to make sure we get money in our area to improve our levees, and it's ongoing right now. Secondly, we need to improve Folsom Dam. The modifications at Folsom Dam, a bipartisan agreement that was reached before I got there, was one that I have worked on, and I worked very closely with the Bureau of Reclamation and the Army Corps of Engineers to make sure not only that that takes place, but that the plan that they came up with is less costly than the original plan that they have, that it will be more effective, and that it will come online sooner. But that will only give us about a 200 to 250 year flood protection. That's the amount of protection that New Orleans had prior to Katrina. We have twice the potential damage in our region that they suffered in New Orleans. I think that's totally unacceptable. We need 500-year flood protection. And there is only one plan that has been produced that will give us that, and that is to build a dam, the Auburn Dam. There are some always challenges with that. But the fact of the matter is, if you believe in global warming, for instance, you got to be concerned that we're going to have less snow and more rain. And the way we are going to protect ourselves from flood and give us more water is to build a major dam. We ought to get going sooner rather than later. Yes, I support building the Auburn Dam.
With regard to the Auburn Dam, if you've been to one of my opponent's town hall meetings, you've heard him speak repeatedly in favor of the Auburn Dam. As a physician, if I were to propose a major operation to somebody, you'd expect that I would present the risks, the benefits, and the alternatives. And it'd be malpractice if I didn't, particularly if I didn't discuss the risk. You will never hear, you've never heard at one of my opponent's town hall meetings any mention of the risk of the earthquake danger of the Auburn Dam. The fact is, there's only one place to put the Auburn Dam because of the shape of the canyon. That is smack dab on top of an earthquake fault. It was thought to be an inactive system until the Orville quake in the mid-1970s. The construction of the Auburn Dam was stopped cold at that point. The original plan was for a thin arch dam, which would be more susceptible to failure in an earthquake. That was changed to a gravity-filled dam, which is less susceptible, but still not invulnerable. It's estimated that an earthquake of 7.0 or more on the Richter scale would cause collapse of an Auburn Dam, would lead to a flash flood that would kill 250,000 people downstream. Going back to the New Orleans levees, if the New Orleans levees had been in good repair, they would have had 200-year flood protection. It was known they were in poor repair. And it was known that the money that should have been spent to repair those levees was instead being wasted again on this senseless war in Iraq. Yes, it would be nice to have 500-year flood protection, but we need a serious discussion of the risks, benefits, and alternatives of the Auburn Dam. Governor Schwarzenegger said we need $3 billion in federal money to bring our levees up to par. $3 billion is the amount that we spend in 2 days in the war in Iraq.
Well, I guess we're going to hear all night long that everything, including the failure to cure cancer, is caused by our war in Iraq. I mean, this is the first time I have ever heard anybody say that the reason that they didn't do the levees in New Orleans was we had the Iraq War. I mean, that is just a, well, I mean, you can say it, but it's nonsensical. Secondly, look, I mean, you use the doctor's analogy. I mean, to suggest that you're not going to build the Auburn Dam and not have any alternative whatsoever is like a doctor saying, well, you've got cancer, but, well, so what? We got to do something about it. There are no free risks in this society. If there's anybody here who thinks we have a risk-free society, you're living in dream world. The fact of the matter is everything has risks. You have to balance the risks. And that what has been done at the federal level in looking at the Auburn Dam with the potential of any sort of fear of a earthquake. And the resolution of that is that is a risk worth taking because of the new construction that can be done.
Thank
The
you.
fact of the matter is, we need to do something. We need to do it sooner rather than later.
I attended a town hall meeting run by my opponent last fall, and he had a presentation by somebody from the Army Corps of Engineers. And federal money had been obtained to do still another study of the feasibility of the Auburn Dam. I think it was in the millions and millions of dollars. I went up to that member of the Army Corps of Engineers. I said, how much of that money is being used to study the earthquake risk? The answer, 0.